Hi and welcome back to my channel. Here is my flip through of my Australiana junk journal. Finally. I'm so sorry it's taken so long. I just got sidetracked with so many other things while I did this, and I didn't do a lot of it on camera. So anyway, let's take a look. Okay, I've got 4 signatures sewn in here with the pamphlet stitch. I've got a dangle here on the spine. This has got real gum nuts that we collected when we were on our trip around Australia. And what else is on here? A little boomerang. So that's cool. That's on a little paper clip here. And the closure here is a snippet that I did of vintage woolen blankets and vintage lace, and it's on a nice buckle. I'll show you the closure. There's a nice vintage buckle, and it's got a little key on it, and that's the snippet. So that goes around there. I'll just lay it back down when I do it up. Okay, so you might have seen me do the cover in a previous video. It was an old encyclopedia, I think, some type of encyclopedia. Anyway, I'll have that link below to the cover that I did. Okay, so in here there's a little booklet that I made in that video, and there's just a little journal card in there as well, and a little flag. Now, there's 4 signatures in here, and they all divided with a vintage tea towel. Okay, so each signatures, you can tie it up with a tea towel and some ribbon or lace. Alright, so let's take a look at the first signature. So that's it was a vintage Australian flag tea towel. This came out of this original book, this coat of arms. And we've got a picture here of the 3 sisters. Alright, we've got a pocket here with just decorated little tags and things. Some of them I made on my Instagram account if you want to pop over and have a look at them. It's got a little doily on it, the Lucky Country. So this back in here is scrapbook paper from Spotlight, Australiana. You would have seen this one on my Instagram account as well. And it's just a belly band with a postcard in it that my friend Jo gave me from England. She's a fellow Aussie, which I have showcased in here some of her artwork. Okay, so I'll have a link to her Instagram account and her website, and you can pop over and see her artwork. She's actually an art teacher, an Australian-born art teacher living in and teaching in London, and she does some beautiful artwork as well. All right, so I'll get going through these papers. I haven't actually counted how many pages are in this signature yet, but I'll have that information up there. Here's a little gum nut picture here, and I've just put some journaling space on the back. This one here is you'll see that's scattered throughout the journal here. It's a hand carved stamp of mine of one of these bird flowers that we've seen in Western Australia. Tea-dyed paper. All the tea-dyed paper in here I've got put on the gum nut and the eucalyptus leaf stenciling, so just to give it some interest throughout. And I've also put some dry parched land stenciling too, just to represent Australia. Now this here is one of my stamps that I've carved as well of the baobab tree, and just to dress that up I put some paper bark on there, so a piece of paper bark. This is original artwork of Jo's, this picture, and yeah, check out her link below. Now in some of these pages I've gessoed over them so you can journal on them as well. There's all sorts of paper in here. Some more of just little cards that I've made. This one was a cute one with the little gum nut babies on them. So that's just in a little envelope pocket. It says Outback Adventures with a little leaf on it and some material. This was some wrapping paper that I found of the glass. And all the pages are from old vintage books or, you know, on Australiana stuff or maps or whatever. It's a Kookaburra pocket here with a little tag in it. Some vellum. Some more of that real pretty scrapbook paper, Australiana themed. In here are some more just little journal cards. This one is an Australian wattle and it came out of a vintage book. So put them back in there. And that's the stencil of just the, you know, it's to represent dry land, which we get a lot of here in Australia. Here's a cool Aboriginal picture, and I've just, when I had gesso on my hands, I just made a print, and I also stamped some white lined paper here. So you could write on this page with a white gel pen or something like that. There's some scattered through this journal too are pictures of Australian trees. So we've got all sorts of paper in here. We've got some doily paper, and we've got some gum nut paper too. Yeah, a book from an old children's book. Here's a paper ruffle down there. And that's that stamp, the line stamp that I've just done with white ink. So you can use those black pages to write on. Just use a white gel pen or a coloured gel pen, and you can still use those black pages. There's vintage books here, just different vintage books. This middle section, this is the middle of the first signature. It's just an eclectic mix of Australiana sort of things I put on, got off napkins, and there's a little hidden paper clip thing there. I should probably put that on a different page so you can see it better. I'm going to put it on this page. I won't get it on. There you go. That's just got some Australian stamps on it. So we've got some more of that gum nut blossom, the gum nut babies pictured there. We've got a mix of all those sorts of papers through here. This piece, I think it was a piece of tracing paper. I just put gesso on it and stamped some lines on it. You can write on that. This is another one of those stamps that I carved myself. This is the Sturt Desert Pea, and we've seen them when we were going around Australia as well. We've seen them, would have been where? Up here in Western Australia, up in the Kimberley. And we've just got different sorts of old paper. These are all out of Australiana type books, and there's some vintage lace on there. There's just all sorts of little tickets, and this is a vintage playing card, Aboriginal painting, and I just put a little journal spot on the back of that, and they're just little tuck spots. And yeah, there's a cockie's feather, that's his crest. And we've seen lots of cockies actually going around Australia. There's a cocky there with and I've stuck him on a pocket, which is just like a wooden sort of look. And there's just a cocky journal card in there as well. I'll get it in there. Alright, we've got map paper, different types of paper. There's another pocket here with an Australian flower in it. This one's got wombats on it, which I've just turned into a journal card and added some of the stenciling to tie it in. There's some doilies here, and I've just made them into flaps you can open up, and that's some of Joe's artwork here, and also on this side. So most of her artwork was quite thick, so that took up quite a bit of space in here, but I really wanted to incorporate it. Magpie die here, which I thought was cool. I just added tabs with numbers throughout the book. There's some more of my tea-dyed paper with stenciling. This is a piece of paper bark that I've made into a tag and just put some writing space on it. You can write on that. Love the paper bark trees. So it was just a sort of I think it was what I had left over when I did this piece here of paper bark. Right, so we keep going. It's the Opera House, and we've got some more journal cards here. This is a really old map book here, South Australia, New South Wales. I'll just back that onto some file paper, and there's some more playing cards here that I've turned into little journal cards. This one here, you would have seen me, I think I made this a few videos ago here, and I'll put a link, probably a link up here. And it came out of an old photo book, and I've just added some wattle to it, yeah, and turned it into a journal card and backed it on the other side of that paper there. You can see the Blue Mountains, and this is sitting in a pocket of some of Jo's artwork. Look at it, isn't it beautiful? These are Australian flowers that she's drawn on her paintings for me. Absolutely gorgeous. So that's the end of the first signature. So let's tie that back up. We've finished that one. Okay, second signature starts with a tea towel from the Northern Territory. And I've cut that up and just frayed it. So let's open that up. We've got a little Outback Life thing here with a flap out envelope, and it's just got some little goodies and things in there. And this was a napkin that I've put onto some music paper of the koalas. And we've got a wallaby tag in here. This is another piece of Jo's artwork here. And on this tuck spot, I've got a beautiful piece of lace with some budgie paper, and that's journaling space on the back of that. A little pocket here with some tea-dyed papers that you can journal in, and it's decorated with the state of Victoria and different animals, different Aboriginal pictures. I just love how this journal turned out. Some more of Jo's artwork. Now, for this particular make, I specifically asked Jo to make me some papers that reflected Australia and the outback for her. And she actually comes from Western Australia, so she really put her heart into these pictures, and I just loved sharing them with you in this journal. So we keep going. Got more of the tea-dyed papers, more of the little gumnut babies. I love that. I love the gumnut babies. And we've got a pocket here, just with some Australian pictures. And what's in here? Oh yeah, this one backs onto a CD case, which I have altered. And there's a picture of an Australian wildflower there, and some papers that I've put in there. Alright, some more vintage papers. Oh, in this pocket, this is a pocket that I made with with kitchen paper, and I've just made a see-through journal card here. You could write on this if you want to with a Sharpie, and that would stay on there for you. And this is actually a piece of I found it in an old Australiana book, and someone had written out information about Australia, and I thought, yeah, that looks cool, so I'll include it in that. It was in a really old book too, so it looked like they'd been scribbling it out for some assignment or something. Here's a pressed leaf here, and I've stuck it on with sticky tape and then distressed around it. You know when you find an old picture with sticky tape on it and it's, you know, you can see where the sticky tape's been. That was my intention for that. Oh, we've got maps of Brisbane and parts of Australia. Another pocket here with some beautiful papers in it, Australiana papers. These are wax flowers, I think, Australian wildflowers and the grevilleas. Just love it all. Different books from Australia. It's actually interesting to read some of these this was an old bark painting picture. This one come from a pretty old book, and talks about the Barker tablelands and all sorts of things from Australia. I think it was in a little Australian encyclopedia. But you know what, if you don't want to, because this is quite full, this book, if you don't want to add more in the way of paper, you can paint over things. You can do whatever you like in this journal. It's another clear page here that I've put journaling lines on. Some more Old Woman's Weekly book. Some music. Trees. I love this paper. This was my scrapbooking paper as well, of Australian wildflowers. Now in the middle of this signature you'll get 2 of my handmade cards. 2 of these, I'll show you these 2 first. 2 of these are clear journaling cards with Australian grass seeds in them, which I thought were cool. I enjoyed making them. And the 2 stamps that I mentioned that I had made, the bird flower and the Sturt Desert Pea, I've turned them into cards that I've made, and they will be included in there in the journal. Okay, so I've just popped one each in those pockets there. So that's the middle of the second signature, and we keep going with those similar papers. This is a collage I made of Australian birds, and I have stenciled the water on the back of that. Also made these journaling cards. This is cool. So they've got a good old seagull. And this was a card that you got from Woolies, and I altered it. You can see that on my Instagram account. So pop them in there, and we just got some Australiana type decorations on that. Australian flag, and this is Joe's artwork that edges the page. Alright, we've got more Australian book pages, tabs. That's the other side, the grevillea paper and the wax flower. So many wax flowers in Western Australia. They're just absolutely gorgeous. Here's an envelope pocket with some little journal cards in it, with some of that really pretty Australiana themed papers. Map paper and vintage Australia information books. The Gum Nut Babies. Tea dyed paper. There's the other side of Joe's artwork, and I've just put, there was nothing on the back of that artwork, so I've just put some journaling space and stenciled some dry land. There's another one of my stamps of the Sturt Desert Pea. And beautiful Aboriginal painting out of a book that I found. Now this pocket's got some more journal cards in it. There, that's a stamp that I made, and that's what my own label stamp that I made. I wonder where I've put them. Oh, there they are. Sorry. There's the label stamp that I made. You can see that on my Instagram account, and they're the 2 stamps, the bird stamp and the desert pea stamp, and that's the other baobab tree stamp. They're in previous videos, those things. So that goes back in that pocket. got, yeah, that stamp. This was a card that I altered. It was like a you know, a math card or something like that, a flash card, and just put some faces and different pieces on it. Put some map on the back of Western Australia and turned them into journal cards. So that all fits back in there. There's a journal card of the map of Australia. And they all fit back in there. Love this paper. It looks like an old tin roof. And that is the end of the second signature. So we'll just tie that back up. That was one part of the Northern Territory tea towel. And the third signature is the second part of the Northern Territory tea towel. I love these old vintage tea towels. Well, you can still buy them. You can still buy them new, but pretty sure I bought these two as vintage. Alright, we've got some nice Australiana paper that is stuck to. Here's a journal card. In here, some of Joe's beautiful artwork. I just love it. And I've turned them into journal cards. There's a map of Queensland. And that's in the journal card too. And we've got a picture of a platypus on here. And some die cuts and different pieces like that. This is a piece of that packing paper you get when you get something from IKEA. I actually enjoyed using that in here. Got some more papers. That one here, tea dye paper, I started stamping some of the journal lines on it so you can journal on it. I've got different papers, different Australian flowers, tracing paper, all sorts of stuff. This one's a pocket, an envelope pocket with Australian pictures. Oh, sorry, I'm getting all tangled up. Australian flowers in there, and a map of Australia on those journal cards. And I've also, in this little front pocket here, made it into out of the cocky paper, and just put little bits and pieces on there. I made this little faux tea card of Uluru, and that sits in the front pocket. And then you've seen those little altered plain cards that I've showed you before now. Alright, keep going. Got some old Cobb & Co. And I stenciled some of that dry land on there too. Dry parched land. And Old Woman's Weekly books. And on the back of this one is more of Joe's beautiful flowers. Her gumnut flowers. I just love it. Thank you so much, Joe, for doing that. It's another altered card that I made. And a map of Australia tag. Backed on some vintage paper. And we keep going. And there's all sorts of papers in here. There's heaps of space to write. Heaps of space to journal. I've got... I made all the little laces on here. I made them look like little bookmarks. There's old vintage Australian books. All sorts of stuff. There's the other side of that envelope pocket with more tags in it that I've backed with journaling space. And that beautiful picture, Aboriginal picture from a vintage book. Now here's a belly band. Here's another piece of that paper that she's painted for me. She painted this on, looked like some scrap packing paper. But I just love how she's done that. And then this one here is scrapbook papers from Spotlight with Aboriginal print on it. So I've just made that into a little belly band, and you can put that in there. This is a vintage Australian book. Some more of this beautiful scrapbook paper. In this pocket here, or this little envelope pocket, I've just got little pictures of Australia, and that you could put somewhere else in the journal. Oh gosh. And in here there's some different pictures and stickers that you can use. Here I've made a little peek through thing where I've just torn back the paper and you can see the faces of the Aboriginal people. It's a little bit random on this side, but hey, we love random. Another map here with says Northern Territory and little bits and pieces that I've edged on the edges of that. Beautiful. This was actually a very beautiful vintage book. Alright, we've got a little pocket here with just some weekly little note planners in it. And this come out of a photo album, these clear pockets. That's just journaling card. More papers. More of similar papers. One had the map of New South Wales on it. Got the galah paper. Alright, we've got another pocket here with a journaling card that I made. And another one of those beautiful scrapbook papers. With a card turned into a journal card. So there's a pocket. My stamp here. And see how I've gessoed over that? You could do that with any page in here. Just gesso over it and then write on it. So don't be scared to write on pages that have already got writing on it. Some more Australian flowers. Australian trees. And then you've got your tea-dyed paper here with the stenciling on it. This is another piece of that packing paper. You can see. And this is a genuine emu feather that we found. Well, we actually found a poor old emu that was dead on the side of the road, but we grabbed a few feathers off him, and I'm sure he was happy to give us them. Poor little guy. And yeah, you get to keep a genuine emu feather there. Alright, in this pocket there is, if you know Peter Cromer's artwork, this was off a packet that I bought of, I think, of his tea towel, and this is the budgie one. So I just made this little budgie into a little journal card, which I thought was cute. There's some stamping there, there's another piece of map paper, and there's a genuine leaf there that I've stamped and put some journaling space on the back. And that is the end of the third signature. So we'll tie that back up. Now the last signature is the other Australiana tea towel. Let's pull that out. Right, we've got some more beautiful scrapbook paper here. And in this one I have got some more of those cards that I've turned into journaling space. There's some stamping. There's a clear journal card here that I've edged with some lace, and in there are little petals of a paper daisy, and I've just put some journaling lines on that, so you could write on that with a Sharpie if you want to. This here came off the cover of an Australian What Bird Is That book, and I've turned it into a big journaling tag. So that goes in there. We've got some little die cut leaves in there as well. There's little die cut leaves in that pocket. And here in this piece of stretchy paper, I've got I shouldn't say bin chicken, but that's a bin chicken feather. No, I think it's some sort of ibis actually, if you want to say its right name. But we call them bin chickens over here in Australia because they tend to, like the seagulls, they get into the garbage bins and like to pick around. So, but yeah, it's an ibis feather. All right, let's keep going. More papers. Here is some little tea cards faux tea cards that I made and put some journaling space on the back, and another one of those animal cards that I've altered. They were fun to alter. So if you want to pop over to Instagram and see how I did them. And we've got some more stenciling, some more of the Gum Nut Baby pages. Another page here of that came out of a photo album that you can put something in, tea-dyed paper. Here's a pocket here, another pocket that this one's got a Tasmanian devil on the front. It's a CD pocket, like that, you can see. And that's this matte paper is very, very old. This one was of Tasmania, and I've just altered that a little. And it goes in there. And the little sign on it says adventure this way, pointing to Tasmania. We love Tasmania. And there's some real gum leaves in there with a little belly band and a little die cut. And some Australiana pictures of a banded anteater. More of old Australian books. Here's a little die cuts that I put in here of birds, and that's an envelope. And I've just got little journal cards and tags that I've made. Alright, we've got some matte paper here. That was an old, came off a calendar, and it was of the top end up near James Price Point in the Kimberley. Some old tree book. There's a page with some of Joe's artwork down the side, and a picture of an emu. I didn't make that in, I don't think I made that into a pocket. No, I didn't. I don't know why I didn't do that. And more Australian flowers. A little die cut here on the tab. Aboriginal book. And here's another page of Joe's artwork. That's my stamp here, label stamp, that you could write something on there. And I put some die cuts of some koalas and leaves. Yeah, and this is some of her artwork, just to reflect the colours of Australia. This is my very most favourite of Joe's artwork that she sent me. It is gorgeous. This is her interpretation of the Sturt Desert pea, and it is just beautiful. I love it. I was so torn to give this up in this book, but look, I want someone else to enjoy this. This is beautiful artwork, this is. I'm so lucky to get your artwork, Joe. And these were some of the postcards that she sent me. So I've put some journaling space on the back of that, and that's in there. That says South Australia, and I'll pop that in there. And I've just got a die cut here of a cocky. Okay, this came out of a book of Australian artwork. I'm not sure who it was by, but I thought it was pretty cool. So I'll put that in the middle with some tracing paper. This here is a printout of a doily, the kangaroo doily that I said I would put in this book. If you want to, you can pop over to my Instagram account and see all the paper doilies I have over there for sale. There's heaps of them that you can buy and print out. And I'll have a link there below in the description. So this one is a pocket. Turned it into a pocket with a kookaburra tag in it. That's pretty cool. There's a die cut here of a kangaroo and a tree and stuff on there. So I thought that came out pretty nice, and that was backed on some of Joe's artwork as well. So we've just got a tab here with a die on it. Another pocket here with things in it. This is another piece of her artwork that I've made into a tag. And there's some stickers there, magpie stickers, and a photo card of bottle brush tree. Now here's a belly band of a fern, and I've found this beautiful sketch here, or it's not a sketch, it's a painting of koala and its baby, and I've just turned that into a journal card. Put a little ruffle on it with a die cut, and that sits in the belly band there of the fern. Some more Australian flowers, and I found this cool picture of this emu too. So I made him into a belly band, and I put some of that stenciling of dry ground around him. And this is another one of pieces of Joe's artwork that I've made into a journal card. It's just beautiful. So that sits in his little belly band. Yeah. There's a lot in this journal. This is a card that somebody made me many, many years ago. Beautiful old lady older lady that used to come to my craft classes many, many, many years ago, and she sewed this card. It says Passport to Adventure. It's just beautiful. So I thought I would include that in there. I just really liked it, and I thought I would, you could journal here, there. So I just turned it into a little pop-up journal space. So I put the map of Queensland on that one. Another one of my stamps. And here's another piece of Joe's art. I tried to make your artwork the best of your artwork spin out, or what I liked the best anyway, through the book. So I've just used bits and pieces for tucks or pockets or tags or whatever. And I kept a little bit for myself as well. Here's another of that beautiful artwork of kangaroos, which I've turned into a journal card, and that sits in there. And that says Kangaroo Crossing. Another pocket here, envelope pocket. This one's got a eucalyptus leaf in it that I've dried and put some journaling lines on it. And put that in there. And here's a little Gumnut Baby tag. See, they're playing they're playing tennis or something here with a little gum nut, and there's the big bad Banksia man waiting for him. Put that in there. I've got some different papers, some more old Australian type books and papers, information. Here's a cute little tag idea. I think I got this idea off Pam from the Paper Outpost, and I've just turned that into little journaling spots on the back too. These aren't rats, these are different Australian, call them marsupials? Yeah. Alright, I've got some tea-dyed paper here with some journaling space and some more Gumnut Baby pages. They're so cute. There's the Gumnut Babies. Look at their little hats. They're the top knots off the gum nut when they flower. Sort of like a little acorn hat, but they come off the gums, the eucalyptus gums. Alright, another old Australian book here that I've put some of my stamping and what do you call it? What's the name on? Here is an Australian hanky that I found, and it was beautifully embroidered, so I printed that out as well, and that's just a little tuck spot here, and there's another little flap here with an envelope in it and some stickers and things. This was the border force control thing, the inspection thing that came in the parcel of the of Joe's artwork, so I thought I'd leave that in there. That just tucks in there. And then we've got a little bug die here that I've just made look pretty, just to represent the Christmas beetles that we get here. Some more of that stretchy paper. Now we've got some tags in here. This is some Australian wildflowers. And this tag's got a pocket on either side. It's got a little pocket here with tags, and it's got a pocket on the front, and you could add your own words there or whatever you want. There's a little booklet in there, and that sits in there as well. And that's the last page, so I'll do that up, and you would have seen the inside of the last page on my that I made in on my, sorry, getting all tangled up, YouTube, one of my YouTube videos. Anyway, in here I've got some little stars rolled up, and they came off the tea towel. I thought it'd be cute to include those little Australian stars in there. And there's a little envelope book in there and some tags. Little tag there. Look at my sewing machine, it went crazy. And I thought, well, that's how it turned out, so I'm going to leave it like that. This is just a faux tax statement that I've just added stamping to and aged it. And yeah, this is the stamp that I got for to put in on the journal, so I might just add that to it while I'm here. There's the last page that I forgot to add some stamping to. So all as I did was just, I haven't even taken it off the plastic, and I probably won't. So all as I do is just ink it up, push it down, pick it up, and I've got my journal lines on there. Cool, hey? And then I could also use this one that I made. If you pop over to Instagram, you'll see me make that one too. And do the same thing. This was so easy to make because I just wanted some lines that I could put on the back of things. So all we do is go like that. And we've got lines on the back of that one too. So I'll pop them into there. Is that all that was in that? I think so. Put them out of the way. Alright, we'll close that up and we'll show you how this closes. It's just a nice big vintage buckle that you can pop through in any space and like that. Alright, so that's the journal. Now, what comes with the journal is a little bag of goodies here, which has just got all sorts of things that you can stick in. Little words, little tickets, little pictures, numbers. There's even some stamping here of different little Australian birds. I should take it out, shouldn't I? Oh, I'm going to get in a big mess, but there's all sorts of stuff in there. Oh, that one's a little cute one. Look at Wave Rock. I remember seeing a picture like that in a book as a kid and thinking, I'm going to see that one day, and I have now. Isn't that amazing? Oh, it's just so cool. So yeah, just bits and pieces that I've stamped on tea paper, or yeah, see, there's bits of, what do you call that, index paper there, a few doilies, words, some more stamps, numbers, go and explore type things that you can cut out and put in there. Look at these, aren't they cute? There's the gum nut babies. So I've done some stamping of them, some kookaburras, more babies. Oh, come on. Some Australian flowers. Oops. Lots of Australian pictures. Love these Australian birds. That's the cocky, that is the corral, and that is, I think it's meant to be a black cockatoo. So there you go. Okay, so we've got words that you can cut up and put in the journal, because I specifically didn't put words in here so that you can add your own words. I've got some journaling cards with some beautiful Aboriginal book pictures that you could, yeah, decorate the way you want. Look at this. Beautiful picture of these emus and their babies. Some more Aboriginal pictures, which I just absolutely love. And these are all vintage, from a vintage book. Actually, I think they actually came out of this book. So there's another picture there you could turn into a journal card. They're all backed with tea-dyed paper, all these pictures. All from vintage Australian books. I love this picture. Had to include that. Oops. leaves. More Australian pictures. Oh, love this little guy. He's the thorny devil. Yeah, lizard. And we seen him when we were in Exmouth, and he was on the road sunning himself. Gorgeous little thing. They're they're only about this long, and yeah, amazing little creatures. Amazing. Here's another Australian wildflower, and then there's different words that you can cut out. Alright, so that's what you get with that pack, in that pack. Now this Australiana journal will be available in my Etsy for sale. So pop over there and check that out. Might be something nice you could get someone for Christmas or yourself for Christmas. Yeah, I apologise that it's been such a long time coming, but we've just had so many other things on in between as well, and I just didn't have a lot of chances to put a lot of the make of this up on camera. But now you've seen it, and I hope you like it. So if you haven't already subscribe to my channel. I would love it if you would subscribe if you're new here. Share, like, thumbs up, comment, all that sort of thing would be very much appreciated. Yeah, you can pop over and check out the information on this. I'll have up there how many pages are in it and the dimensions of it and all that sort of stuff. It's a big chunky monkey book. It really is, but it's absolutely gorgeous. I love it. I love it. So it would be an awesome keepsake for somebody. Alright, so that's it. Finally got this video up and the sale of it up, and I hope you've enjoyed watching this. I hope you've enjoyed looking through my mind's eye with this journal. I hope you've enjoyed Jo's artwork. Please pop over and check out her page, even buy some of her artwork and support her small business. And yeah, all right, I think that's it. And I'll catch you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.